Hi guys, welcome to C Programming with John Ritchie. Today's topic shall be the getchar function as well as the putchar function. These two functions will be used to read and write characters onto our screen. An example of this is the Unix echo commands. Here I'm typing echo, let's put in some words, hello. My name is John Ritchie. Now when I hit enter, you will see the same line be repeated on my screen. Now how can we write this in C code? Let's take a look. I've already written the code and I'm learning as you guys are learning. So let's cat the file that I've created recently. I believe the name of the file is char.c. And let's go to the code. First line, you will see that we're including the standard input-output header file. This file is required to access certain functions in the C library. Very important functions that are commonly used, such as the getchar function as well as the putchar function that we'll be talking about today. So let's go to this code and let me describe what's going on. First, in C, we create the main function, and this is where everything runs inside these two brackets, and then you have to declare variables in C because C is a statically typed language, unlike dynamic languages like Python, for example, where you don't need to do all this. You could just dynamically link your variables to different types. However, in C, since it's a strong type language, we will have to declare these variables from the get-go. Anyway, so we declared C as our variable here, and then we are going to create the same echo command. And how do we do it? We create a while loop, and this is how a while loop works: is inside these parentheses, if this statement is true, this is a Boolean expression, by the way. This statement is true, then and only then will this while loop execute. And once it executes, we get to the first line, which is putchar C. Now putchar C is one of the functions inside the standard input and output. That's what it stands for. stdio.h, and that's the header file. So every time you see these .h files that we include into our C code, we are adding a header file. Now, let's get back to the while loop. As you can see here, we have first declared our variable C as an integer. After we did that, now we could actually use this variable inside our source code since we've already declared it. Inside the while loop, in this Boolean function between these parentheses, what is happening is that we are linking the C variable that we have created as an integer to the getchar function. Now what the getchar function does is that it reads from the standard input of the keyboard of the user. Whatever the user types, we are going to now read that character. And here, this is an interesting sign. You see an exclamation mark with an equal sign, that means that this getchar function is not equal to the end of the file. In other words, end of the file is also in the C programming language. End of the file is when the input ends. So it checks to see if the input is over with, and if it's not, then it basically executes the putchar command with the C putchar function with the C variable inside the function. Now, when this happens, when we execute this line here, we're basically taking what we put in. So we first with our keyboard we enter a character, and then in this loop we get to the putchar function, which reads what we have entered, and then the putchar function, what it does is it prints this on our screen. So that's the output. So basically that's the input and that's the output, and when we execute it, it should basically do exactly the same thing as what the echo command does when you don't pass any arguments to it, of course. So I've already compiled this program, and you guys can see how it works. So let's see. This here, the char, is my file that is compiled, and I'm going to run it right now. So it's very simple, 2 lines of code. I'm going to type in random characters. Now, when I hit enter, that should give the end of file command to execute. So when the while loop reads these characters one by one, and then it puts them, what's going to happen is after I hit enter, it will start the while loop. The while loop will first read the first character, A, that I put in from my keyboard, and then it will print it to the screen. And then as the loop keeps going until it reaches the return key at the very end, it will basically, what it's supposed to do is to copy all of these characters and print them out exactly as what you would see in the echo command. So let's hit enter and see what happens. And that is exactly what was expected. Now if I hit the return key again, I should get nothing because I did not enter any characters. Let's try that. And as expected, nothing. Since there's no alternative exit in our program that I haven't really, this is just a very simple file that doesn't have much in it. There is no way to exit it. The only way to exit it, we would have to terminate the program through our terminal with the Control-C combination. And that is the first lesson of getchar and putchar. These two functions are how we can read characters and also input and output characters onto our screen. That's basically what it is.